All right, welcome back. We are approaching 3 a.m. and we're going to do this really fast because it is the Warrior and they have some really bad cards that we don't want to talk about and some really good cards that we do want to talk about. So let's start with some bad cards we don't want to talk about. Death Revenant, 5 mana 3/3, gain +1/+1 for each damage minion. You may get a 5/5 out of this. You're probably getting a 4/4 out of this. It's not good. Animated Berserker, when you play a minion, deal 1 damage to it. 1/3 body for 1 mana. Pretty good, but it's usually pretty good because it lives. And it's pretty bad if it lives. So you lose or you lose.
Yep. All right. Can I talk about the weapon?
Oh, fine. You can talk about the weapon.
No, sorry. Please talk about the weapon.
No. I want you to talk about the weapon. I want to talk about the other card.
We have Blood Razor. Blood Razor is a 4 mana weapon that is has 2 attack and 2 durability, has Battle Cry and Death Rattle of deal 1 damage to all minions. So it's got 2 damage with the hit, and then you have double whirlwind effect on the first and the second hit. It's okay. Look, it's definitely more of a constructed type of card. It has applicability in Arena, but it's just not a great weapon, which is part of the reason why its score is like a 124. Still pretty good, but just pales in comparison to all the other weapons that are available.
Yeah, like you see where weapons are rated, and I don't actually know where Fool's Bane is here. I think it's one of the bugged cards. Yeah, it's rated a 53 right now, so Fool's Bane is definitely one of the bug cards. So Fari War Axe, like 193, Arathi Weaponsmith 161, Arcanite Reaper 155. That's pretty good. And then you get down here, right? And it's Blood Razor, which is still really good. You're still going to pick a lot of it, especially because it has the upgrade bonus, but it's like not your normal weapons. Okay. What I want to talk about is, yes, Forge of Souls, the other weapon card. It says draw 2 weapons from your deck. For only 2 mana, you get to draw 2 cards. So good. So good, right? So good. It's way better than Arcane Intellect. The weapons are your best cards. So amazingly good. It is only a 105. It is not bugged. It is actually just that bad. And it's not bad, it's above average.
All right, it's 105. All right.
It's 105. But the reason it's not absolutely amazing is because you can't play both weapons. One of them is forcibly delayed, and then maybe you don't want to play both weapons. And on top of that, it is Arena. Like, you'll probably have enough weapons, but Arathi Weaponsmith is not a weapon. N'Zoth's First Mate is not a weapon. Upgrade is not a weapon. Like, who knows? Like Forge of Souls, which can kind of count as a weapon, is still not a weapon. So you actually may only draw 1 weapon. And just overall, this is not actually a completely ridiculous card. It's not even a terribly great card. It kind of gets the job done. It's basically like, hey, I need a weapon. I'll pay the 2 extra mana, give me a weapon, and then I'll have another weapon spare that I can use later on if I have the health for it.
Right. So that is Forge of Souls, and let's talk about Mountain Fire Armor. Mountain Fire Armor is a rare minion, 3 mana, 4/3 with Death Rattle. If it's your opponent's turn, gain 6 armor. Love the design of this, and I think you analyzed it pretty well in the Light Forge. So how does this sort of play out with the Death Rattle?
How did I don't remember how I analyzed it on the Light Forge. Why don't you quote me?
Okay.
Why don't the #1 Arena player in a quote me?
Okay. Well, quote you. Well, no, I need to offer my own analysis. I can't settle for like the previous like number 9 in NA. Like, come on. No. So once again, these mechanics that sort of force your opponent to kind of choose, right? Is quite interesting. It's just because you are dealing with a potential kind of 10 HP swing here. You play this when it's your opponent's turn. They're like, well, look, I can either trade into this Mountain Fire armor, but then I'm sort of giving up that initial damage, and I'm giving them 6 armor as well. So maybe I just go face and then kind of take the consequences as they are, right? And these sort of cards are fantastic, not only because of the risk assessment thing, but it's another chance for your opponent to make a mistake, right? For them to make a mistake either by hitting in or not hitting in. And then, you know, you as a warrior can capitalize with all of your weapons and all of your value later on.
Yep. I like it. It's a good analysis.
It was your analysis.
So I liked it. I heard it and I was like, oh yeah, I totally agree with everything you just said.
Oh yeah.
Valkyrie Soul Claimer 94. It's a playable 3-drop. It's not great. Whenever this mini survives damage, summon a 2/2. It's gonna survive damage once. It's gonna summon a 2/2, or it may not survive damage, and then it won't even summon a 2/2, and it's really bad. But when it summons the 2/2, it's like okay, because it'll deal like 3 damage and maybe have a body left over that'll deal 1 damage, or maybe it'll deal 1 damage. So like on curve, it's not terribly great. And then going forward after being on curve, it doesn't do anything. This is no Crypt Lord, is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's no Crypt Lord, it's no Pyros.
No, it's a 1/4. Crypt Lord's a 1/6. You know, you're like, maybe similar. They're both 3-drops. Nope. Nope.
All right, those are the common and rare cards.
Cool. Let's go to the epic cards. What does Warrior have for epic cards? Why do I not remember them?
Such good stuff. All right, so first we have a 2-mana spell called Bring It On! Exclamation mark. Warrior cards really like to have that exclamation mark in there, but this is a spell that says gain 10 armor, reduce the cost of minions in your opponent's hand by 2. Purely a constructed, you know, oriented spell. We have it rated as a 6.
At some point, you can just gain some armor in top deck situation. It's not like totally useless.
No, it's not totally useless.
It's not, you know, give your minion to your opponent is kind of what this number means. Dead Man's Hand, another 2-mana card. Shuffle a copy of your hand into your deck. This is not a 65. Yeah, I don't know why it's a 65. What? There's no way the algorithm does anything with this. So this should be a 0, according to the algorithm. Yeah, we may give it a couple points. I don't know what's happening here. But we will.
Do not look at this score. The real score is much lower. Much lower.
It's like a 2. It's like worse than Bring It On. It may be around Bring It On. I don't know what it is. It doesn't really matter what it is.
It kind of doesn't matter.
But yeah, so Warriors have 2 total whiffs and legendaries. Although its commons are like, it's there.
Well, 2 whiffs on epics.
On epics, right. Oh, sorry, yeah. Right. It's late. Getting to actually 3 a.m. So yeah, but you know, Warriors have some stuff to work with. It's not like a total loss, but it's definitely not good. And what do we know about Warriors when they don't get really good cards?
No, they're fine. They thrive, right?
The hero power really carries them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, we are looking at the legendary card for Warriors. It is Rot Face, 8 mana, 4/6, so pretty understated. But whenever this minion survives damage, summon a random legendary minion. We have this pretty high, and although this was a card I was very skeptical on. So right now we have a 143. So Adulta, my concern is just the fact that, I don't know, like it's definitely killable, like quite easily, quite easily, right? So I guess
it's not that easy. It's 6 health.
That's fair. And it just has to survive damage once, and then you get a random legendary, which is pretty good.
It's kind of risky. I don't know.
It is very risky.
I'm not opposed to lowering the score. It's a legendary card.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's like that high. I know you talked to me about it, and I was like, oh, it seemed like it was okay, but I think it's like it's definitely like a little bit on the high
Oh
side.
yeah, because
Um,
the score is very high, dude.
I mean, it just needs to survive damage. So someone
Yeah,
actually needs like I think the idea is how often can someone deal cleanly 6 damage, you know? Like without
yeah,
piecing together something. It's not like this guy needs to survive on the board or like something like that, right? Like it could die and it'll still summon a random legendary before it dies. If you're
yep.
trading 2 minions into it or even hitting a minion into it and trading something else into it. So plus you always have the chance that you can trigger it yourself. And warriors definitely get a bonus for that. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I don't think either of us cares too much about this card to move it yet, but we will see how it plays out if we face it or if we play with it. And that's warrior. We're
Sounds
heading
good.
into our last class, which is rogue. See you guys.